Today we're going to dive into some things that can make the day absolutely amazing for you as the vendor. So stay tuned. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Nancy and I'm the owner of Oh My Heart Handmade Gifts. I create fun, fashionable, and sustainably made bags to help you level up your sustainable living journey. I would love for you to click the link below, check out my website, learn more about what I do, and you can also shop there online. If you haven't had a chance already, click subscribe or like. It helps me and it helps the algorithm get my videos out there to more people, and I really appreciate it. So let's get started. Today, we're going to talk from the vendor perspective. I have been a market vendor for going on 7 years. My busy seasons are summer markets and holiday markets. I will be doing probably about a market a week this summer season. If you're watching this when this was first released, it is early May, and around here in the Pacific Northwest, our summer market season starts the first week of May and usually goes through September, sometimes October. Last week, I had opening day for one of our biggest farmers markets here in the area. It is Snohomish Farmers Market. If you haven't had a chance and you're in the area, go check it out. It is an amazing market. There are over 100 vendors every week. It is a really awesome market. I think I've been vending there 5 years, maybe 6. I can't remember now exactly. It was so wonderful to come back for opening day, see so many friendly faces, both in my vendor community and the shoppers alike. As a vendor, if you return to the same market over and over again, or if you do a lot of markets in your community, you will become friends with the other vendors, and then many shoppers will come and find you at different markets. And the vendors become a vendor family. They are there to support you. They really reach out and embrace the people that are around you. They truly do become some of your best friends. A few things to keep in mind on market day. I was running a little bit behind. I had hoped to leave the house 45 minutes earlier than I actually did. I still had plenty of time. However, I wanted to allow myself at least 2 hours, if not 2.5 to 3 hours for setup at this particular market. They allow that because they close the street early enough for me to do that. I, however, got caught up in stuff around the house and I was running about 45 minutes behind. On a normal day, this probably would have been fine for my setup. I still had 2 hours for setup. However, if it's opening day of a market that you've been at for 5 years, it's kind of like a family reunion. And I spent way too much time going around and saying hi to everybody and talking and seeing what everybody's been doing for the last 8 months that I was way behind in setup and should have just done my work. That's really what it came down to. Pro tip, if you are like me and you want to go say hi to your friends and find out how they've been doing, set up coffee with them on a non-market day to catch up. That's really what I should have done. But anyway, learn from the lessons and move forward, right? So I wasted too much time. Not wasted. It was not wasted. It was good time spent. However, I spent a lot of time talking to friends and catching up. I also want to touch on what happens before you ever get to the market, that it is best to have a plan B for anything that might come up. Life gets crazy, life happens. As a market vendor, we have committed to being there. It is our job to show up and be there not only for our business, but for the market and for the other vendors around us. When there are holes in the market that are supposed to be full, it looks awkward and funny to the customers, and then customers stop coming, and then it fizzles out and it affects all the other businesses. Yes, emergencies come up. We know this. Market managers know this. However, the level of emergency needs to be higher than I think a lot of people set the bar for emergency. For example, before my market, I had it all arranged for my kids to be picked up from school at 2 different times, 2 different places, and then they also have a sports practice in the evening on that day. I had it all arranged that they were getting picked up, they were getting fed dinner, They were going to be looked after as far as their helmet goes. They were going to be driven to the sports practice, and then my husband would pick them up after work to get them from practice. Had it all arranged, had it all figured out. Go mom, pat me on the back. However, the morning of the market, about 6:30 in the morning, I get a text message from the person saying that they woke up with an eye infection and they can't do it. Totally get it. I didn't want the eye infection in my house. So instead of canceling, because that could be considered maybe an emergency in certain circles, I went and found another option. So I could be there for my business. I could be there to follow through on my commitment to the market and to my fellow vendors. Is just something about a full market that gets everybody excited, gets the customers shopping, gets them coming back, and gets them shopping and spending money with you. Do not cancel if you don't have to. It's really important. Once you've committed to a date, that is the date that you show up, and based on your rules and regulations of your market, follow them for cancellations and how many you have and how far in advance you need to do it in order for them to refill the spot. So it all worked out. My husband was able to rearrange his schedule and get off early, pick the kids up, get them to practice and whatnot. And I also have some friends that are willing to help me out in a pinch and pick them up from school and help me in that way. Line up your people, line up your village around you early. Let them know what your schedule is. Find out the people who are willing to hop in last minute to help you with things. I don't currently have anyone set up to sell for me. That's my next step, I guess, that if something were to happen to me, that person could step in and sell for me. Have a plan B, maybe even a plan C, D, E, F, G, all the things. Another thing I noticed for opening day, which this happens with every market, unless it's in an enclosed space with closed doors, but any outdoor market, you will have early bird walkers. They like the hustle and bustle of the setup. They want to just walk around and watch us do our thing. For me, I find it very difficult to focus on what I'm doing when somebody that is not also working to walk by and start looking at your things when you still have a half hour or 45 minutes before the market opens. And it's so, as a customer, if you have the opportunity to just wait until the market opens, it would really be helpful for those of us who would like to interact with you, but just can't because we need to focus on setting up so we get open on time. If you find yourself at a market early and there's maybe an open grassy area, go sit down, go hang out until it opens. Try to avoid walking through the main area of where all the vendors are trying to get set up. It's a really stressful time. We're trying to turn an entire street into a mall in 2 hours or less. Think about it that way. I mean, that's insane, right? Another thing to double check on market day is your technology. My technology, it was charged. It seemed to pair up fine to my phone. I use Wear Bluetooth reader. I bought a new one, I think just a few months ago. So it should be the most updated version, because the ones that I had been using were no longer able to update the software. However, yesterday it was having so many issues, and I so appreciate the customers that stood there and waited for me to disconnect it from my phone, turn my phone off, reboot my phone, reconnect the Bluetooth, and then it did work. Thankfully, those technology IT things actually fixed the problem, but it was extremely frustrating, very stressful. If I had been a newbie, I would have been in tears. I would have been shaking to my core, embarrassed, and just horrified that this was happening, even though it had nothing to do with me. I very much appreciate there were 2 customers that had to wait for me to disconnect everything and restart. One at the beginning of the day, one at the end. And then throughout the day, I would get the wheel of death that it was processing the credit card. And there were at least 2 times that after it said it was processing and processing, it didn't decline their card. It said it couldn't process it. So it didn't have to do with their card. It had to do with the Square reader on my end. Tip: do not let the customer walk out of your booth with their merchandise that they're purchasing until the order has fully processed, fully authorized. You get the screen that says, do they want a receipt? Yes or no. Like, do not let them just, take their card and leave. I think in the hustle and bustle of booth, if you have other customers, like, you can get caught up in this idea of, oh yeah, it's processing, we're good to go, bye. No, make sure that processing credit card whole thing finishes up, because they could walk out with a $60, $70, $80 item if and not have paid for it if it ends up canceling. And then you have to do the embarrassing thing of like finding them out in the market, or either losing the money or being like, oh wait, like out in front of everybody, your credit card didn't go through. I need to call you back. We need to do that again. They are there to purchase from you. They want the item. It is okay that you are asking them for money, and it is okay that you make sure that transaction actually finishes. I'm saying that more for me than anybody else. There's this feeling of apologizing almost. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I'm making you spend money on the item that you want. Like, I need to get over that. We need to get over that. They picked it off the shelf. They saw the price. They know what they're doing. They want to buy it. So make sure that the transaction finishes and it completes and it authorizes, and share them their receipt if they want it. Otherwise, it could get awkward very quickly. So it's less awkward to stand there and wait and chat with them until it processes. I had to do that several times, but I got to get to know them. We talked about the bag, we talked about the market. And so it gave us an extra 30 seconds, a minute to just get to know one another. Take advantage of that time and build a relationship with your customers. They are buying from you, and they are most likely going to buy again. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about today is at the end of the market. Typically, every single market that I've experienced, the last hour is slow. No matter what time of day, no matter what location, I have rarely been at a market that it is busy from start to finish. However, do not pack up early. So this should be in rules and regulations of pretty much every market that you sign a contract for. You are not allowed to pack up early. And I'm not saying that I saw anybody pack up early at this particular market that I was at last week. I don't think anybody did, but what I'm just saying is, in general, there is often at least one or two people that if it's slow, they start packing up. This sends a message to the customers that it's over and they need to leave, and then it's no longer time to buy. That really sucks for the rest of us that are following the rules and waiting and sitting there and hoping that there's still another customer that will buy from us in the last half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Every customer deserves our A game, whether they got there at opening or if they are there 20 minutes before closing. It is not their fault if they worked or had appointments or whatnot, and they could not get there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and instead they were there at 6:30. I am so thankful for those who continue to come and shop. I think I had 3 or 4 pretty good sized sales in the last 45 minutes of the market. They deserve to be able to shop too. With that, not only don't physically pack up your stuff, don't mentally throw in the towel yet. You never know who's going to come by your booth in the last 15, 20 minutes. I had someone pop over yesterday about 5 minutes before closing and buy something. So you just never quite know when somebody's going to be able to come in your booth and spend their money with you. So my final tip is, don't pack up early, but also don't mentally throw in the towel before closing. All the customers deserve our best. I hope you've learned a few things here today. If you have any questions, comment them below. If you have any things that you think I missed or want to hear about in another video, drop them below. Happy to help, happy to share. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Check out my website, ohmyheartgifts.com. Fun, fashionable, sustainably made bags. I'm Nancy. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I will see you next time. Bye.